Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters. PJ Minecraft here with game number 2 between the yellow Zerg player who has stayed at the same color, and that's mouz biGs down here in the bottom right corner, and in the bottom left corner, geographically by latitude, identical to his opponent, it is aTn Socke. I suppose this might not be on a planet. Oh, it's Shakuras. Yeah, of course it's a planet. So this planet does have latitude, and they are in fact level with each other. If you were, I don't know, I guess I'm just assuming that up is north on these maps. It is an alien planet after all. But you know what? Up is always north, unless you are one of those people who are for geographic equality and you put north on the bottom of the globe. I don't know if those of you have seen those globes. There was actually an XKCD about it somewhat recently, and it's also in the movie The West Wing. And it's about just basically how the north is always on top, and it creates this North Hemisphere bias basically against developing countries for Europeans and for Americans. And it's just kind of a funny thing. And I'm not saying they don't have a point or anything. I'm just saying I'm staying neutral on the subject, so don't read into anything that I'm saying right now. Looks like a very early scout, actually, as he's going to scout after a probe. I think that's fairly common in a Forge Fast Expand, which is exactly what Socke is doing in this game. Has opted to do the real Forge Fast Expand, not any sort of early zealot pressure like he has done in previous games. Looks like the probe is actually going to take a couple of hits on its actual health points right there, which is going to make him just a little bit weaker later on. He does see the spawning pool right there, so all he's trying to do right now is harass his opponent and just kind of generally interfere with him as much as he can. This is not going to be a speedling expand though, so one thing that Socke is going to try to do is actually deal with the, not to say actually too many times, but to deal with the hatchery going down right there. And so he's probably just going to patrol his probe right around there, and just kind of make sure he ends up dealing with it. Looks like he's just queuing a couple of movements. We can actually see, oh, the patrol. That's a very nice 5-pointed patrol right there. Very odd queue, actually. Only a robot could remember something like that. Looks like, meanwhile, this Overlord is actually going to be a fairly brave Overlord, as if his opponent was not going for a Forge Fast Expand, that Overlord would actually be shot down very quickly. So I guess that shows how confident he is that his opponent is actually going to be aiming for a Forge Fast Expand, and thus will not be able to kill that Overlord for quite some time. Looks like the 6 Zerglings are going to come out right now. Not sure why he opted for 6 Zerglings. It's possible because he scouted the forge timing of his opponent, and actually that is going to be a little bit of a problem right here, as the cannon needs to be laid almost immediately from Socke. Let's see it. There we go. Cannon is coming down, and a pylon, I believe, is enough to finish off the wall. Possibly it's going to have to be a gateway, but either way he is going to have to build another building, and then he's going to have to cancel it. Looks like it is actually going to have to be a gateway, and these Zerglings will just be able to get a couple of hits in before that photon cannon finishes. Looks like the photon cannon is actually, they're going to get about 15 seconds of attacks in. They're actually attacking the wrong gateway as well. That's the one that's building. Oh, I guess they're going for it. Oh, because they want to break in and attack, so that is the right gateway, actually. Unfortunately for them, the hit points are replenishing, as it is, in fact, building right there. Looks like the cannon is going to finish, though. He's going to want to cancel. Nice cancel. Almost is building almost at 0 hit points. Unfortunately, 3 Zerglings did get into the base right here, but a Zealot is now being chrono boosted out, and that will assist Socke in dealing with this right here. And remember that he's never going to be able to get those Lings out of the base, so he is losing those Lings on a permanent basis. They will be able to, however, be a very general nuisance right here. Now, unfortunately for biGs at this point in time, he has not started speed, and he actually hasn't even gotten his gas, I believe. And his expansion is fairly late as well. So despite the fact that he got these Zerglings in his opponent's base, they're not going to be super annoying, as it is somewhat easy, not somewhat easy, it's much easier to be able to chase down non-speedlings in someone's base. And so once that Cybercore finishes, he'll get a Stalker, or maybe a Sentry. It's hard to say exactly which he's going to be aiming for, and be able to deal with those. Now, it'll be interesting to see exactly what kind of response we see from mouz biGs as a result of this. I wouldn't expect to see any sort of all-in, although it would still be possible, but just because he hasn't started his Zergling speed yet, or even gotten a gas for that matter. Now just getting his first gas. Looks like these Zerglings are still alive. I don't think either of them has a kill. Looks like nope, neither of them has a kill, but now they do just got a kill. And now they're just going to be able to move around and get some additional health going. Looks like that Stalker is now going to come out from Socke, and that will be able to take him out. Did he just kill both the Zerglings? I think he just finished him off, actually. And so he finally dealt with that little bit of a nuisance right there. And very late gases, by the way, for mouz biGs. So he's not going to get speed for a very long time, which means he is definitely not going to be aiming for any sort of all-in. And it looks like there is the drone. I was going to say he should be aiming to get a third pretty soon, as That's going to have to be something that you almost always want to do when you're a Zerg player against a Protoss player who is Forge fast expanding. As unless you're rolling them, obviously you need to be able to catch up in economy, and Zerg players need to really be ahead on bases, as it's been said multiple times. Nice job, able to actually kill both of those Zerglings right there. That's part of the problem of dealing with actually Protoss units without Zergling speed. And actually, he's almost entirely without a defense right here. He really should be starting some. Okay, so he's getting a Roach Warren. He's got the evolution bay, but look at that. It's going to be a queen versus a zealot. That zealot will be able to kill like 3 drones if he focuses it correctly. Oh, it looks like the Zerglings are going to pop out and actually be able to deal with it, but the zealot did in fact get a drone kill, which is reasonably important. And wow, okay, so alright, so okay, she hasn't even gotten to 100 gas yet. Okay, wow, okay, so just a really late. Oh no, you got a lair. Oh, okay, he's going for a Nidus Canal. Okay, so okay, then I'm just confused. Okay, why is he getting a lair? Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about this just for a little bit. So he skipped Ling speed, and the reason he skipped Ling speed is he got a really late gas. Oh, cannon rushing, very nice from Socke there. That's going to really stop the drones from mining on these 2 patches right here, as it will be able to shoot them down. Looks like the Zerglings are going to be able to spot that. Some additional zealots will be able to move in, though, and probably defend these cannons in time for them to be able to deal some serious damage. Also looks like he's actually going to cancel one of the cannons. Oh, and build on the low ground. Very nice. I like that a lot. And these zealots are actually going to be able to deal a lot of damage, and the reason is he skipped the Zergling speed. Now, he skipped the Zergling speed, as I was talking about, because he got a really late gas. And over late gas, what that lets you do is really build up a really nice economy. Unfortunately, he didn't get any spine crawlers to help him defend his bases. So, for example, this third is just gone. He also didn't get a Roach Warren fast enough to really be getting any sort of forces either, which is why you see him actually aiming for an all-in right now. Now, he got a really fast lair. I thought that was maybe for a Nidus Canal, but it looks like he's actually getting Glial Reconstitution, which is the Roach speed, of course. And looks like he's actually aiming for a third, just a little bit closer and easier to defend right here. That is going to be spotted almost immediately by the probe and probably taken out by the probe. Well, not by the probe, but by a pylon and then some warp gate things. And he's actually aiming for an all-in right here. It's really just not going to work, though. There are 5 sentries here already with force fields. You only need 2 to really block off this ramp. And Lings do not have speed. They're, like, slow Lings are one of the worst units in the game just because they're unbelievably easy to micro against. Even, like, Zealots even Hydras can micro against slow Lings. I mean, not really, but you sort of can, actually, with Hydras. I mean, with a little bit of scoot and shoot. But you definitely can with Zealots, just kind of by sliding around, because Zerglings without speed just don't get surrounds fast enough. And so, I mean, you're really not going to be able to deal all that much damage right here. And so biGs is digging himself a bit of a hole right here. We're going to have to see exactly how Socke ends up exploiting it, as he is aware of the fact that his opponent has still not gotten speed, and actually went for lair before speed, which is also super interesting, by the way, because Ling speed is usually more important than a lair. His first 100 gas was actually spent on the lair, and then he got Roach speed right away. So I mean, sure that's why he got it. It was for Roach speed, but he hasn't really, I don't know, he hasn't really utilized that unless he was planning on skipping speed for the entire game, which obviously he wasn't, because he got a bunch of Zerglings, which, where are they? He got a bunch of Zerglings and Roaches. And actually, I wonder if the Roaches actually have speed before Zerglings, which is something I've almost never seen in a game. Looks like these Roaches are going to be able to move up, though, take out this cannon, and take out the pylon, but the cannon of the pylon did a very nice job of canceling that third right there, so definitely paid for themselves for the Protoss player right there, as the Zerg player's third has just started up, and it looks like Socke, meanwhile, is going to be going for a Blink Stalker all-in. He does have a bunch of sentries with a lot of energy right now, and so, oh no, he's going to be taking a third right here, it looks like. I thought he was aiming for an all-in. How many gateways are we at? We are at, oh, I don't know why the hatchery selected. Alright, so we are at, 8 gateways, actually. So this very well might be an all-in. In fact, it looks like it's going to be an all-in. He's going to be able to take out this hatchery almost immediately. Ling speed is now finished, so that's going to help him a lot as well. And I think he actually mistimed, oh no, he didn't, okay. And then he got the pathogen glands and the infestors. The infestors will spawn with enough, because the pathogen glands will finish just a little bit before the infestors. Looks like he will be able to take out that infestor reg, though, if biGs is smart to be able to cancel that. Looks like not quite able to cancel that. Some nice force fields there. He is going to protect these forces in a little cocoon right here. Some pylons from behind are going to assist him in warping in right here. And what's going to be really important right here is exactly what was important in the last game, which is the concave. And biGs has not done a very good job so far of getting a split. He really is going to want to attack from multiple angles at once. And what is he doing? He decides to attack while the force fields are still up, which are preventing the engagements right here. And if he had any hope of holding it off, it was not a very good idea to move in right there. It were dashed immediately right there. Was able to take out all of his sentries right there. Maybe that's what he was going for. But that's not something that's really going to be able to help him out, and he's just going to have to GG out of the game, as we see right there. As, I mean, he just basically dug himself a hole that game, and I don't even know what his build was. That was a really wonky build, and maybe he was thinking something that I didn't spot. But either way, I mean, Socke was basically able to just gear up off of 2 base and just crush his opponent because his economy wasn't big enough to support enough units to be able to deal with Blink Stalkers, which are quite effective. And I believe they were 2-0 Blink Stalkers as well against 1-0 Roaches. So very nice games from both of these players, but a little bit of a disappointment there from biGs. That little Zergling run by early on was cute, but it really didn't do all that much really to Socke. So and he lost a bunch of random lings as well, lost the third, and from there it's just downhill for the Zerg player. So we're gonna have to see if he can correct it in game number 3. This is PG on Minecraft, signing off.